Teachers are sharing the most outrageous thing a parent has messaged them, and maybe the problem isn't the kids, it's the parents. In 2013, I got divorced. A few other teachers knew, but I never told students, just quit wearing my ring. A parent emailed me and asked that I keep wearing my ring so her son didn't learn about divorce. Her son was a senior in high school. Please refrain from bringing politics into the classroom. You should not be discussing the president or tariffs. I'm the AP government teacher, and it was a lesson on presidential communication. You have a Black Lives Matter symbol in your classroom. What does this have to do with ELA? Stick to the curriculum. Lots to say about that, but mostly it was a Star Wars rebellion symbol. A parent emailed and accused me of teaching sexual orientation when I was actually teaching asexual reproduction in unicellular organisms. I teach biology. Had a parent ask me if their child was on track for an Ivy League education. I teach pre-K. I got told there was no reason for me to be teaching about the rainbow and promoting gay culture. I teach elementary art. Had a parent email at 4 a.m. By 6 a.m., she emailed the principal saying I don't communicate well and never responded to her. Why is Obama's picture hanging in your room? My response was, I'm a teacher and he is the president. It was 2010. Please remove all sick children from your room for the next 2 weeks. We are going on a cruise and I don't want my child to be sick and ruin our vacation. When I told her no, I would not be targeting children based on their wellness, she went to the board. Had a mom ask, what on earth would make you choose to fail my son? Ma'am, your son chose to do absolutely nothing every day in class. I didn't get the message, my principal did, but the parent was upset after seeing I was reading Onyx Storm through social media. She said it was inappropriate for me to be promoting those kinds of books where the students might be able to see. I teach 4th grade. Please don't teach about voting. It doesn't seem appropriate for them to learn. As I stopped reading and laughed because my kids were voting about Oreos or chocolate chip cookies. They're 3. Can you make sure to call my house at 6:30 to wake my son up for school? I work. Got accused of teaching about drag queens in a lesson about Japanese kabuki. Women aren't allowed to be kabuki actors. Lost that fight with admin. If you're going to be absent, my daughter needs to know ahead of time so she can be mentally prepared. Yeah, if I puke in the night, she'll be the first person I call. I want to homeschool my child. When will the teacher be at our house and which teacher will it be? You're the teacher now, babe. Had a kid take a tumble during program and swallowed her tooth. 2 hours later, she goes number 2 and the parent asks me to go digging for it so she can put it under her pillow. What? Yelled at me because I told her that s'mores was not an appropriate snack in school. He brought a s'mores maker with a heating element to school. Had a parent message beyond upset with me that I labeled their child as boy on their trimester assignment scores. Boy means beginning of year. Why did my child not hand in this assignment? I don't know why your 15-year-old didn't hand it in. Ask them. Told me I needed to make sure their child would be line leader every day because they are used to being first and they didn't like how much it upset them every day. Got a handwritten note saying they will be sending a bill for the clothing the child ruined. She requested they not be allowed to use markers or scissors. Ma'am, it's kindergarten. I realized she didn't do any of the work, but why did she get a 0? Had a parent tell me that I personally am a danger to children and the downfall of our country because I won't tie shoes. So the country is on me, my bad, guys. Gave a student a 0 because they didn't turn the assignment in. Parent calls me and says she thinks it was unfair and the student should have gotten some points because a 0 was too harsh. Reminder, she never turned anything in. Special ed teacher here, her daughter threw up and she asked me to smell it to make sure it was sick smell. What? I was told I made up the Boston Tea Party to push an agenda. With technology today, I don't really care if my child can read. I understand she's having a hard time personally, but she shouldn't be missing work. I was having surgery for my 2nd miscarriage that year and my father-in-law died. My son came home without his limited edition Cinnamon Toast Crunch Crocs, and I'm telling the principal you stole and sold them. What? I had a parent tell my principal I was too professional. I wouldn't give her my cell number and call her just to chat and be her friend. Screamed at me for 10 minutes on the phone. How dare I ask her son to stack his chair on his desk, throw away his trash, and plug in his computer at the end of the day. I'm not exaggerating. She said, it's your classroom. It's your job to do that. Just say your kid walks all over you, damn. I had a parent call to tell me that she was upset that I told her 1st grade son that a hamburger was a dead cow. I was a vegetarian, but I most certainly did not tell him that. I asked him later where he heard that, and he plainly answered, my mom told me that. Please stop marking my son's work in red ink. It's very aggressive and we're trying to encourage him to try hard. Went right into my trash bin where it belongs. Please remove my child anytime there is talk about ghosts, monsters, or demons, as we don't want the devil to infect our child. I was reading a fantasy book in my curriculum. Emailed a parent about her child's increased behavior issues. Was told, he's performing experiments on you to prove you don't treat him fairly. When we gather the data, we will go to the principal and let you know what we find. I'm sorry, what? I'm an art teacher. I had a parent accuse me of indoctrination because I taught my students about an indigenous artist. Didn't mention his beliefs whatsoever. We talked about the work's shapes and colors. I really think you need to incorporate Spanish more into your class. It's a disadvantage to those trying to learn. I teach English and we live in Puerto Rico. They sent me a video of their 8th graders screaming, crying, and rolling on the floor because they didn't want to do their homework and the parent blamed me. One of my parents asked me for a parent-teacher conference on a Sunday. No. One parent asked me to create and send out her child's birthday party invitation and sent me all the information to include on it. The worst part was I did it because it was my first year of teaching and I had not learned to say no yet. Boundaries, babe. Parent messaged me, why are you picking on my child? I only ever hear about things she is doing wrong. Ma'am, why would I tell you about the other children? A parent wouldn't let their high school senior watch a PG Disney movie. They said it wasn't appropriate. It's Inside Out. Can you buy pizza for the class for my daughter's birthday and then I'll reimburse you afterwards? Yeah, no. You're running a communist classroom by manipulating my child for compliance. This was regarding an Elf on the Shelf. I taught kindergarten. You'd be shocked how many parents think it's appropriate to ask you to wipe their kids. Who's allowed my child to talk to someone without my permission? I will be suing. The kid talked to the guidance counselor. Parent did not sue. Also, why can't your kid see a guidance counselor? Red flag. It's so unprofessional that you took 3 days off and didn't tell the parents that you would be out and why. This impacts my daughter's learning. You need to tell us where you were. And CC'd my principal, so I gave my principal permission to go into detail about my miscarriage. Had a mom tell me via the child's planner to stop messaging her husband because it makes her uncomfortable. He was the only contact I had on file and I was just updating every parent on reminders. I can't volunteer for the field trip because I am a felon. She smells uncertainty, fear, and anxiety, so be prepared. I work as an online teacher for high school students. A parent wanted me to text her kid every morning before his 9 a.m. class to be sure he's awake. He's 17. I was turned into the superintendent because I was unable to open a student's Gatorade bottle. There was a whole investigation by admin. I have lupus. I had a parent email me that when her child was worked up in class, I needed to lay him down in front of the class while I rolled an exercise ball over him while playing Andrea Bocelli. I teach 6th grade. When she is at school, you are her parent. Absolutely not. Parent put in a complaint about me for not sending out her child's birthday invites. She sent them to me on Class Dojo on July 1st. School ended on May 28th. Went to my super because they didn't agree with the length of my maternity leave. Said it was unprofessional for me to get pregnant knowing I would be due during the school year and tried to speak at the board meeting about it. You have got to be shitting me. A kindergarten parent sent in a note asking how much makeup they should put on their daughter for makeup picture day. Oh my God. Kid did a backflip in the cafeteria after being told not to, so he owed 5 minutes of recess. Mom emailed saying we need to give him his 5 minutes back because he has ADHD and we wouldn't ask a kid in a wheelchair to stand up, so we can't expect him not to do backflips. Apples and oranges, babe. I need money for gas, otherwise my kid will not be attending school. Unfortunately for your child, that's a you problem. College academic counselor. Parent emailed and asked us to reconsider the decision to place her child on academic probation. It was a calculation, not a choice. Because her daughter was a victim of divorce and had a hard time with her parents' divorce, and that's why her grades were so low. The parents divorced when the child was 12. She was 19 at the time of the email. Miss, can you please send homework? It's 1 week into the holidays and he's driving me insane. Please excuse my child from their work for the next 2 weeks. We will be going on vacation. Yeah, so that's not how that works. Oh, it's just 103-degree fever and occasional diarrhea. He's fine. Parent accused me of wearing a pagan star and teaching paganism. I read an excerpt from Harry Potter and my necklace was a Jewish star. Parents knew I was Jewish. Why did everyone else get the chocolate cake and my child get a cupcake? I don't know, Jackie. Why do you insist your child can only have vegan things? Had a parent tell me I was playing terrifying and disturbing music with terrifying and disturbing images to the point where he was afraid to send his child to school. It was an instrumental YouTube video with Stitch and Bluey drinking hot coffee. I gave a student a +10 on an extra credit quiz. Apparently my handwriting was rushed and sloppy because the parent claimed I wrote "ho" on her paper. Called the parent-teacher conference with admin and rolled up with a lawyer. We don't use the word no in our house. Please just rephrase how you speak to my child. 1st grade. I hear it's getting worse. My daughter doesn't feel comfortable using the bathroom at school. Could you go in and wipe the seat down with a Clorox wipe prior to her using the bathroom every time she needs to go? These comments just prove teachers should be making double, if not triple, their salary. Wholeheartedly agree. We truly do not pay teachers enough.